How did I change from this to this? 5 years ago, I had class 1 obesity and was diabetic. How long did it take me to change this? At 51, I was sent home by the doctor to lose weight by diet and exercise. So which one helped me more? Is it this or that? I'm now on the road to six-pack. Keep watching this space to follow my progress. Are abs made in the kitchen or in the gym? Thank you for watching and subscribing to this channel. And please note, I'm not a medical doctor or a healthcare provider. The views that I share in this video are my personal experience and opinion. Therefore, before you start losing weight, please consult with your doctor or your medical service provider. This video will attempt to answer that question. Was it by diet or by exercise? So my sugary snacks were the first to go. Let's consider what happens when you eat ice cream. Ice cream, in 1 cup, you have about 500 calories. To burn 500 calories, you need to walk or run about 10 kilometers or 6 miles. And for sure, I was not doing this. So I would eat the ice cream and then sit behind a desk. And of course, the weight piles on. In reality, diet does work. By just stopping my excessively bad habits of eating the likes of ice cream, the weight began to come off. But stopping the bad habits was not enough to make me lose enough weight to come from the class 1 obesity category. I had to go further. And what I'm trying to say is that stopping bad habits is not enough. You need to moderate the amount of good, natural, healthy food you are eating. The good, natural, healthy food can still make you fat. So after my sugary snacks went, next I went for the carbohydrate portion of my food. And I started to reduce the portion of carbohydrates. Like most of you, I grew up eating too much carbohydrates, and I was eating too much carbohydrates. That's why the weight was piling. And in truth, the weight will not come off for as long as one is eating too much rice, pasta, chapati or roti, bread, maize meal or ugali or sadza, and even potatoes. Please forget the narrative that was sold to us when you were growing up, that carbohydrates or starch is the foundation of your diet. If you have to lose weight, you have to change this foundation. The next thing I stopped was drinking sugar. Not stopped, but actually drastically reduced my sugar intake. The very obvious one is the table sugar, which we add to our tea, coffee, or even drinking chocolate or milk. I was taking about maybe 4 to 6 teaspoons in a day. Nowadays, I take just 1 teaspoon a day. Sometimes I don't take any. And even the natural sugar like honey is still sugar. And I actually reduced it to about half a teaspoon in a day. And sometimes I go for 2-3 days without taking that honey. The most difficult for me to stop, and it pains me to this day, was homemade fruit juice, because I loved making this. I would make it in different colors, different flavors, and really enjoy it. But that sugar is deadly. So I just stopped. There were other sugary drinks that I stopped taking, and these are like the soda or pop, and even the beverages from the famous coffee houses, you know, the ones in your country, the ones that sell you a very, very, very tasty cup of coffee or tea or chocolate. These ones I stopped. Another one I stopped is drinking the so-called real juice, but it comes in a carton. That one I stopped cold turkey. I don't take any real juice that comes in a carton or in a packet or any other kind of packaging or a bottle. Stopped taking is porridge. And any kind of porridge I no longer take, be it white, yellow, brown, or even red, because that one is one of the ways you'll take in so much sugar, so many calories without realizing. So what do I drink now? I just drink water and water and water. Water has 0 calories, 0 sugar, so you can drink as much as you want, and it will also help you in so many other ways. So what's my relationship now with carbohydrates? I still eat them, but my relationship with them has changed. And this has mainly happened to do with the way I eat them. One of the first changes I made was to stop eating a sugary breakfast. What do I mean by sugary breakfast? I no longer eat sweet breakfasts like cereal, granola, or even juice of any kind, be it natural or artificial. Another thing that has changed about carbohydrates, I never eat sweet carbohydrates on an empty stomach, because the speed at which that sugar enters your blood, it actually just goes straight to storage and fat piles on. Another change I have made in my relationship with carbohydrates is the order in which I eat my food. In my part of the world, we grew up knowing that you first eat your carbohydrates, then your vegetables, and then the protein was so little like a treat. So that would be the last one to be eaten. Nowadays, I first eat the vegetables, and then the protein, and then the carbohydrates. And many times I am full before I get to the end of the carbohydrates. Another change that I have made in my relationship with carbohydrates is never eating a plateful of carbohydrates. However indigenous or exotic they may be, forget any other story that you are told about them. So, eating a plateful of cassava, sweet potatoes, arrowroot, or even rice or maize meal is a no. Just eat a small amount and clothe it with either proteins or vegetables. So I have videos on each of these dietary interventions, and I will link them in the description so that you can go and watch them in detail so that they help you. Almost 9 months into my weight loss journey, I had lost about 75% of the excess weight. I had excellent health parameters. Diabetes was gone, but I was unhappy with the way I looked. I had sagging skin, I had bat arms, and generally I just looked shriveled and withered. So if you want to look great, jacked or toned, then exercise is a must. My exercise journey has been slow but steady. I started with walking just 1 kilometer, which is about 0.6 miles. And I remember even some of my family members were amused because I thought that was a lot of work. But for somebody who was thoroughly deconditioned, that was a lot. I then graduated to combining my evening walk of 1 kilometer with a morning run, or more or less walking on the elliptical for about 15 minutes. After that, I graduated to half walking, half running, about 3 to 3.5 kilometers, about 4 to 5 days a week. And at this point, my appearance began to change. People began to notice. From half walking, half running, 3 to 3.5 kilometers, I graduated to 4 to 5 kilometers, 6 days a week. And even at this point, my condition improved. I was now doing more or less 3/4 running and 1/4 walking. I really nailed in on diet at this point, and it's at this point that most of my weight came off. My diabetes also reversed at this stage, but I was left sagging. I had loose skin all over, especially on my arms, my back, my stomach. and I started doing gym in an effort to firm up. My start in the gym was also slow. I started with the conditioning where I did the small weights but high reps. So I began bodybuilding about 2 years into my weight loss journey, and this is where I am now. I combined running and bodybuilding, and if you want to see details of this, please check on my video on my roadmap to fitness. Between diet and exercise, which one helped me most to transform my body? To lose weight, I would say it was 80% diet and 20% exercise. To look good, I would say 20% diet and 80% exercise. So if you have enjoyed this video so far, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for many more videos. There are many more benefits of exercises beyond losing weight and looking good. This is the subject of another video, so keep watching this channel. So between diet and exercise, which one is better than the other? I would say they complement each other, and for best results, combine them. Please remember my illustration about the ice cream cup. Just 1 cup of ice cream, you need to run 10 kilometers to burn it off. And this is not practical, so most likely you won't do it. The saying that you cannot outrun a bad diet is so true. On my part, after running so hard so early in the morning or working so hard in the gym, I don't want to spoil my hard work by putting things in my mouth that I should not be eating. So where do you start? I would say start where you can. Maybe if you have to choose one, start with diet because it has the greatest effect. And in all this, please be kind to yourself. Don't start by running 10 kilometers straight from the couch or by removing all the carbohydrates from your diet. Please remember this is a race of life. So slow and steady wins the race. I will be bringing you more of such content on this channel. Keep watching my videos. You might also benefit from watching this video.